Hi, my name is Sam Weigel. I apologize that I can't be there tonight, though I'd really like to be. Since I can't, I've made this video to tell you a little bit about myself and to thank the Minnesota Aviation Hall of Fame for the honor they have bestowed upon me. I'm originally from Princeton, Minnesota, the oldest of 6 children. I started flying lessons at the age of 13 following a Young Eagles flight, soloed on my 16th birthday, and passed my private pilot check ride with Bill Mavenkamp Sr. on my 17th birthday. Along the way I decided I liked flying enough to make it a career, so after high school I did my advanced ratings and got my degree at the University of North Dakota. During my junior year I did an internship with Transworld Airlines, during which they were purchased by American Airlines. It probably should have sent me running for the hills, but I was inexplicably bitten with the airline bug, likely for life. And in any case, all the experts were forecasting a huge pilot shortage. Surely I'd be at the major airlines making the big bucks in no time flat. Well, we all know it didn't work out that way. 9/11 changed lots of things, both inside and outside the aviation industry. Thousands of airline pilots were out of work, and those of us in the lower ranks scraped by doing whatever we could. I flight instructed for a few years and then flew single pilot cargo for a couple of Part 135 carriers on the West Coast. It was hard work and there wasn't much money in it. Many of my friends quit flying altogether. But in retrospect, those years were the most challenging, interesting flying of my career, and the experience couldn't be beat. I'll certainly never be as good of a pilot as I was when I was flying NDB approaches into mountainous airports at night with no autopilot. Slowly but surely things turned around, and the call of the airlines proved irresistible. In 2003, I went to work for Horizon Air out of Portland, Oregon, flying Dash 8 400 turboprops. In 2007, my wife Dawn and I moved back to Minnesota, where I flew Embraer 175s for Compass Airlines out of MSP. In 2014, I was fortunate to get on with Delta Airlines, originally flying McDonnell Douglas MD-88s. Now, I'm a first officer on the Boeing 757 and 767. My winding career path wasn't unusual. In fact, it's been a rather typical one for civilian pilots in the post-9/11 era. But early on, I decided that I should write about my experiences as a young pilot working my way up through the ranks. I started writing a blog in 2005, which eventually caught the eye of Flying Magazine's then editor Robert Goyer. He asked me to write an article for Flying in 2013. That feature led to another, and later that year I was offered a slot as a contributing editor. My monthly column, titled Taking Wing, explores the challenges and rewards of beginning a career in aviation, gives advice to aspiring aviators, and tells some there I was stories from my early career. I've stayed active in general aviation, and so that too has been a frequent topic of my writing. Don and I previously owned a 1953 Piper Pacer and also a share of a 1940 Piper Cub, and we've had many grand flying adventures that took us to the Bahamas, Mexico, and around the U.S. Some of my favorite memories in those airplanes, though, involves giving Young Eagles rides to enthusiastic kids and teens that remind me a lot of myself at that age. Lately, Don and I have set out on a new adventure. Last year, we sold our house and airplanes, Don quit her job teaching middle school math, and we bought a sailboat to live aboard and cruise the Bahamas and Caribbean for the next several years. Our boat, Windbird, is a 42-foot Tayana cutter that's already been around the world with her previous owners. We've been spending the last 6 months getting to know her, doing some major work on her rigging, surviving Hurricane Matthew, and embarking on a spectacular shakedown cruise through the Bahamas. Our dog, Piper, seems to be adapting to his new lifestyle just fine, and we're loving it too. I'm fortunate to have a lot of flexibility at Delta, and I'm not flying much during the cruising season. I'm still writing while on the boat, though, and I find a lot of inspiration on the sea. There are many similarities between flying and sailing, and a great many pilots who are also sailors, and vice versa. Right now, Don and I are cruising the Exuma Keys on our way north to the Chesapeake Bay for hurricane season, which is why I can't be there tonight. Nevertheless, it is a very great honor to be named the Minnesota Aviation Hall of Fame's Writer of the Year, and I would like to thank the Minnesota Aviation Hall of Fame for their recognition. Growing up and learning to fly in Minnesota, I came to count many of the Hall of Fame's inductees as personal heroes, and I am incredibly awed and humbled to be counted among their number. Please accept my gratitude, and know that I look forward to attending the banquet on another occasion and meeting each of you in person.